Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my brand new Let's Play. And today we are getting started on a childhood classic of mine, Let's Play Dragon Warrior 2. And I tell you, right off the bat, folks, there are so many memories I can associate with this game. This is the first ever RPG I played, and it is the first ever RPG I beaten and obsessed over. Yes! Let's do it, baby! Oh my god. Continue a quest, not only because I had a practice copy in, so we'll just go ahead and delete that, and start a new quest. So, folks, it's been over 20 years since I played this game, and all I can say is one of the biggest memories I have of this game is the day I went and purchased it. It's pretty amazing how you can associate certain memories with certain things that happen. Like, when I bought this game, I remember specifically that my dad, right after I purchased the game, had to drive by motor vehicles real quick to renew his inspection sticker. Like, who remembers that kind of stuff from years ago? Apparently I do, and that's all like little meaningless, pointless stuff. You know, I mean, whatever, you went to renew his inspection sticker, big deal, but it's pretty amazing that all it takes is somebody to go and, you know, like, this game, I went and bought this game, I was so excited that day when I bought it, and then I was like, what? You remember him getting his inspection renewed? What? That's what nostalgia is all about, folks, and, well, welcome to Dragon Warrior 2. I got a lot of stories to tell beyond this game. Let's get it started right away. Welcome aboard. I'm excited to start this. And this is definitely one of the most impossible role-playing games ever created. Let's get through it. So, I've already Let's Play Dragon Warrior 1, for those of you wondering or have never seen it yet. So check it out if you're curious. I actually Let's Played that one on the Game Boy Color. But I decided to do this one for the Nintendo just because, as I mentioned, when you have certain nostalgia over a game, like this game has so much, you know, it has a place in my heart, and I remember this game so well that I just had to do this on a Nintendo. It wouldn't make sense to do it on any other system. So, unlike Dragon Warrior 1, this game actually has a little bit of an intro here. And really, to just go over the intro real quick, instead of me reading what they say, basically, at the end of Dragon Warrior 1, or the whole Dragon Warrior 1 story, was focused on the Edric, or whatever, the main character, and he went and defeated the Dragon Lord. So it has a very similar story to Beowulf, if you've ever read that, or seen the movie, or whatever. And it's just basically dragon terrorizing kingdom, hero defeats dragon, blah blah blah. Well, now, here in Dragon Warrior 2, everything is peaceful. Edric took over ruled the world for a long time, built a family who's pretty much migrated and spread throughout the kingdom. And now, all of a sudden, peace, this is what's happening now, peace, or everything is just in chaos for whatever reason. An army known as the Army of Hargon has just come out of nowhere and started wreaking havoc on everyone. And they started with this castle of Moonbrook, which is this king and his daughter, his princess, the princess of Moonbrook, are wondering, in my famous catchphrase, what's going on? And that's what we're trying to find out here. And it's kind of funny because, oh my god, Father, scream the princess! It's funny because when I first played this is, you gotta understand, I was mesmerized because this is the first real introduction I've ever seen in a game. Most other games like Super Mario Bros. 3 and every other type of game I've ever played before this, there's no such thing as an intro. You know, you play the game. Sorry about that, folks. I got distracted again! Yes! Already! I just started the game already. Distractions. Awesome! But yeah, as I was saying, every other game you've played before this, there's no such thing as an intro. You know, you start the game, and then you pretty much figure out the story as you go. But here, it's like, BAM! Backstory. And as cheesy as these animations may look here, this was revolutionary for Nintendo at the time. You have to understand where I'm coming from. I know you probably don't, but then all of a sudden, BAM! Hargon's army destroys and annihilates the king. What a kickoff. And the princess is all alone, and she's crying for help. No, father, no. No, father, no. And then all these demons take over the castle of Moonbrook. And thus begins the war of Hargon. Or whatever the hell they want to call this war. The Dragon Warrior 2 war. And really, does this second game really have anything to do with dragons? Not much! I mean, there's dragons in this game, but anyway, so this kingdom, or this castle, has been taken over by Hargon's army. As you can see, a swamp mysteriously form over it. Look at that, it's on fire. And now this soldier escaped, and he has to go warn all the others. And I find it pretty amazing. One thing I love about this game is the world map. It's so colorful. Something about it to this day is still very, very intriguing, and the colors of this game are just gorgeous all around for an 8-bit game, you know? Okay, so pretty much the soldier ran away, escaped the kingdom of Moonbrook, come here to warn the king of Maidenhall, or Middenhall. I prefer to say Maidenhall. I don't know what the proper way to pronounce it is, and here comes the grammar Nazis, or the pronunciation Nazis, whatever. I really don't care. So, the soldier barely made it with his life to warn the king. The army of Hargon, the sorcerer, has sacked Moonbrook Castle, from whence I came. The evil of his magic is great, and I fear we will soon rule all the world, unless a monarch is great as thyself. So, pretty much now the king is aware of what's happened, and now our main character, who is to the right side, Dario, one of the descendants of Edric, must go on a journey to defeat the army of Hargon. Okay, so right off the bat, a couple of differences from Dragon Warrior 1. Let's take a look. First of all, here's the menu. Talk, the same. Status, the same. Take has been replaced with search. And there's no more stairs command or anything like that. I don't even remember the exact commands of Dragon Warrior 1. But really, search is going to be done for a lot of stuff in this game. Items, spells, a lot of this is pretty similar, but a little different, but I'll explain more as we go. Our main character does not get any spells throughout the whole entire game. However, in this game, unlike Dragon Warrior 1, you actually get companions with you. So, as you'll be learning, your companions do have spells, and they'll be utilized, and they're extremely important for the game. You cannot get through this game without spells, because, as I mentioned earlier, to this day, I still believe this to be probably the hardest role-playing game ever created. And I know that sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I'm probably not. And the game starts easy, gets harder, and then all of a sudden, towards the very end, gets impossible. Doesn't really match. Anyways, enough talking. Let's go ahead and explore this beautiful world of Dragon Warrior 2. And I tell you, I have a lot of little personal stories I'm going to be telling throughout this Let's Play. So I'm pretty excited to just tell you guys and relive my past. The other thing that you might have just noticed is, what the hell? I just walked down the stairs. In Dragon Warrior 1, when you went over stairs, you actually had to hit the stairs command to go down it, which was really annoying. Open the treasure chest and prepare for thy journey. Now listen closely, Dario. Seek out worthy companions along thy road. In Cannock and Moonbrook there are those who are also of Edric's line. They will surely help thee to defeat Hargon's dark plot. What is this plot exactly? To take over the world, but that's the basic plot for every role-playing game. So, yep, unlike the other Dragon Warriors, you can just walk up and down the stairs without pressing anything, which is great. And here is a treasure chest. We can just search it instead of take. Dario search all about seeking a treasure he found. A copper sword and 50 pieces of gold. A nice little way to get started on our journey. Let's go ahead right away and equip it. So, what items does he have? Right now he has leather armor and a copper sword, which we just got. We can go ahead and use the equip command to equip the copper sword. Automatically jumped our attack power from 5 to 15, which is really nice, and we keep the leather armor on. So, a nice little boost. Let's go ahead and explore the town. Basically introduce you to a little aspects of the game, and welcome you to this world. Remember to equip thyself with weapons and armor. So, everybody actually says pretty useful things for the most part in this game. There's a couple people that are worthless, but every little thing helps. If thy path leads west of this castle, thou shalt reach the town of Leftwine. Okay, so somewhere left of this castle we're at is the town of Leftwine. Important to note for later on, or actually for the next episode. It's a little stiff walking. I'm not used to it. I'm using a dual action Logitech controller here. Although it makes me sad, thou must go forth and seek thy destiny. That's a worthless information. Okay, now interestingly, if you head in here, you're gonna notice there's 2 doors. Now, if you remember Dragon Warrior 1, there was only one type of key for doors that look like this, and you could open it with that key, and you had like a limited amount you could keep buying. In this game, there are 3 types of keys. The golden key, the silver key, and I think the jailer's key. There might be another one, I forget. But the good thing about them, once you get them, is they go into your items, and they're permanent. So you can't run out of them, which is great. Obviously, we have no keys right now, so we can't open any of these doors. This is the silver door, that's the golden door. Can't do anything. So, again, just introducing you a few little elements. Yep, same thing. He tells us the same thing we already know. Town of Leftwine is to the west. More doors we can't go through. Now, one thing that's new to Dragon Warrior 2 that Dragon Warrior 1 didn't have is called the House of Healing. Which this person is really unhelpful. I guess that's not a technical House of Healing. But when you find these places, you can revive party members, cure poison, and do a few other helpful things that would save you otherwise, which I'll explain later. Anyone else we can talk to here? This person. In Cannock, there is a young prince, and Moonbrook had a princess, okay? Obviously, the 2 party members that are going to be joining us in our quest as we progress. Those are the 2 home locations. But of course, as we know, Moonbrook was destroyed just now in our intro. One who sets foot upon the travel door is transported to a distant place. So the first thing I naturally did when I played this game is I went through here. And as soon as I went through here, well, no battles this time, but when I went here the first time I ever played it, there was an immediate battle. This is a very obscure thing to throw into a game off the bat. You come here and it's like you're surrounded by a little island. It makes no sense. It took me a long time to figure out what it was. It was just to show you there was a town there, which is really weird. Anyways, so that is essentially the introduction to Dragon Warrior 2. A couple more guys we can talk to. This is Maidenhall Castle, no shit. Inn works just like it did in Dragon Warrior 1. 4 pieces of gold to sleep here, which is not bad. And this guy is a tool shop. Medical herb and antidote herb. That's all he offers right now. Medical herbs, heals your health. Antidotes, cures poison. Alright, so that's pretty much all there is for the intro. So the first thing I did when I first played this game, let me just talk to the dog, woof woof, is I stepped outside and I was like, wow, the world is beautiful. So I decided, you know, I was crazy. I didn't know what an RPG was. I just started exploring everywhere. Oh my god. And the first battle I run into, folks, is a big slug. Yes. So, pretty much all we're going to be doing for the rest of this episode is just killing some enemies and leveling up here. And I'll explain the battle elements in a second. But the first thing I did when I played this game is I decided to just... I didn't know what an RPG... I mean, I know what an RPG was, and I've seen in Dragon Warrior 1, but I was crazy. I didn't expect the monsters to be impossible, so I just started wandering around. And I ended up wandering around, like, too far north, and I got destroyed before I knew what hit me in the game. So the first thing you really want to do when you start off the game is head outside and just level up a little bit. And you really don't want to go to the next location until you hit about level 4. And that's pretty much what I'm just going to be doing for the end of the rest of this episode. I'm going to try to level up once, show you what a level up is. And the battle encounter rate on the mountains, as you can see, is pretty intense. So the best place to level up in the game is usually the mountains. Grass takes forever to run into battles. Mountains, you run into battles right away. So all I usually do is run back and forth across these mountains. Slime, slime, slime. And I gotta explain the battle elements. I'll do that to you I'll explain in the next battle. Let me just kill one more battle here. Or should be leveling up soon already, even though we're only level 1. So, that's all I do, head back and forth. Okay, so here's the battle elements. You got fight, pretty straightforward. Run, straightforward. Items, which you're going to be able to use items throughout the game. And parry. Parry works like the defend command in Lost Odyssey, for those of you that just watched that Let's Play of mine. Essentially, it's very useful when you have multiple party members and one of them's low on HP or is very weak physically once you get a new party member. Parry reduces all damage taken in half, so if someone normally hits you for 24 and you parry, and they hit you for 12, so just an important element to keep in mind. And other than that, the battles are pretty simple and straightforward. There's nothing really to it. There you go, I leveled up already. With thy courage, you have been promoted to level 2. Power increased by 2, reaction speed increased by 1, maximum HP by 9. And folks, that's pretty much all I'm going to be doing here for this first episode of Dragon Warrior 2. I have a lot of stories to tell about things I remember very instinctively and specifically about this game, so I cannot wait to share these stories with you. But for now, this is all the time we have. I'm going to go back to the town, rest up at the inn, and I'm going to collect for a little bit here until I reach about level 4. Ooh, 3 slimes. Let me see if I can survive this battle real quick. Oh boy. Oh my god. Really? Oh boy. Oh boy. I got this. Look at this. I am cutting it close on my first episode here. 4 health left. Ah! 2 health. Oh, wow. Okay, folks, that is all the time we have for this very first episode of Dragon Warrior 2. When I come back, I'll be about level 4, maybe 5. You want to definitely be an okay level before you actually explore. So, that is all the time we have here. Welcome to Dragon Warrior 2. A little shaky for my first episode, because I had a lot to explain. I will be a little more calm in the next episode, but still excited. More stories to come, more things to tell. Welcome to Dragon Warrior 2. See you guys next time for more fun. Peace.